Hello, YouTubers. This is Edward. Sitting having a grande Semigill beer in the store on a rainy afternoon. A lot of thunderstorms today in a blackout. So I'm just hanging out. Actually, this is the 5th blackout. Count that 5 blackouts we've had today. Off and on, all day long. So this last one, it's because of lightning. The other ones was because some kind of a breaker on this section of the electric line has a problem. It's a weak breaker and it keeps tripping or something like that, and they haven't done anything to replace it. They just keep tweaking it in hopes it'll last until they put the new equipment in this section of the line. So good luck. But yeah, I'm just in the store here waiting for power to come on, having a beer or two. So that's the way it is here in the Philippines. You just gotta, it's out of your power, so you just gotta kick back and have a beer, just try to chill. It's tough for me because I'm pretty high strung. It's real tough for me. Plus, you know, I come from the US, so never in my whole life, except for maybe once or twice, we ever had a blackout in my whole childhood. Until I started working in the oil field, and I was working for years, probably probably close to 20 years, worked in a facility offshore, oil and gas facility on an island, offshore north of the Arctic Circle in Alaska. So we'd get polar bears, all that stuff, right? But we generated our own power, used our own gas that we produced from our oil wells, recycled that gas into fuel gas, and used that on gas generators to supply all our power we needed for the entire process of our plant. So we were pretty self-sufficient, but sometimes those generators would go down, and then you're in the dark, in 40 below weather, you know, middle of winter, and you're like, oh shit, we better figure out why we're down. And usually we know right away why, because the SCADA system that we were on usually told you what was the trip, why we tripped offline. And we had one spare generator, so we had 3 generators, and we only had to run 2 at a time. Sometimes we could just run on one if we had a lot of maintenance issues, but 2 was always the ideal situation because there was a load shed situation in the SCADA. So it was a load shed system where if you lost one of the 2 generators running, only your non-essential things would trip offline, right? So you had time before the process, before you had to start pinching wells back, before you were able to get up another one of the generators again and supply more power to the system. So if you lost all your generators, yeah, blackout in a $3 billion facility in the Arctic Circle, 40 below. If you didn't get your shit together real quick and get back online, good luck. The whole process, everything gonna freeze up. Then you'll be there for weeks and weeks trying to get everything thawed out. Yeah, it's not a good situation. We were pretty skilled in our job there, where I don't think we were down any more than a couple days at our worst situation, which was pretty amazing. Since the time we started up the plant. So I was part of the startup crew. So it's pretty risky business, oil and gas. A lot of high pressures, high voltage, high everything. I mean, you got to really know what you're doing. If you don't, and you got to work as a team. We had a great team at North Star. I really miss the team atmosphere there. We kicked ass. I mean, we all helped each other, bent over backwards for each other, and made it happen no matter what it took. Because it was our survival depended on it sometimes, right? In that kind of environment, good luck. You're screwed if you don't have 100% faith in your coworker. And so we all became pretty darn tight friends because of that, right? Because they weren't just coworkers anymore. You became pretty tight friends, and I still have, contacts and conversations every once in a while with a lot of the guys I worked with there, and some of them still work there. Some of them are retired. So yeah. This blackout situation here, I mean, I'm retired now, and it still bothers me during a blackout. We'd always joke with each other, you better have your flashlight. Great. Yeah, I really want to use my flashlight, because then you're in a world of shit if you got to be using your flashlight. It's just frustrating to me, because I'm so high strung, and I like everything bam, 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 and I plan out the week, try to knock out everything, try to get everything, scheduled, and all your maintenance and the duties that you have to do every day, even in retirement, right? It's hard for me to relax, because that's just the kind of person I am. I'll probably die young of it because of high stress, but, my blood pressure is low. I take a very tiny amount of high blood pressure, and I check my blood pressure, and it's really good. It's 120/80 almost every time I check myself now. So it's all good. It's just that it's frustrating, and things you can't control. Of course you can't. If you can't control it, you can't control it. So. But it's still going to bother you. I don't care who you are. And some people, maybe it's not going to affect you, but high-strung people that get after it, want to get it done, get after it if shit's not right, which that's the kind of person I am. And then when things are going smooth, you kick back, and then you can have a good time, and enjoy stuff. But if shit is not in order, yeah, it's hard for me, real hard. And it's the electricity thing's probably the biggest thing that bothers me in the Philippines. If it wasn't for that, I love it here. I absolutely love it. And part of that's my fault, right? I've been down for over 3 months now with my generator. I have a generator, but it's broke down, waiting on parts. And supposedly, I just talked to the supplier today, and we're supposed to get the parts in next week. That's what he said. ETA was next week. So maybe within a couple weeks, I'll be back up and running with the generator. But when I get funds together, I'll scrape up some money for some funds, which, it's not cheap. What I would want to do is add a battery bank. Initially, I was against it because they're so expensive, but if I have blackouts with my solar system during the daytime, my battery backup will give me all the power I still need while the sun's still shining, right? So, but it ain't cheap. It's up to 500,000 pesos, which is 10,000 US. And that's not, a small amount of money. Especially now I'm on a pretty tight budget until my Social Security kicks in. So that's my next big project on the list, is battery bank for the solar system, and maybe even expand the solar system as long as the net meter, like today I was at Zanico, Lelibeth and I went there, and we got the final requirement paperwork done with them, and then they need to do one meeting with the LG. Oh, we just got a power back. Amazing. Usually when the power goes out from lightning, it's usually 1 hour. Oh, went off again. See what I mean? That's the sixth power outage. It was on for what? 15 seconds or less? That's the 6th power outage today. I kid you not. Where you get it for 15 seconds to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it goes off again. Oh yeah. It's crazy. But anyway, we were at Zanico. We got their last paperwork submitted. They need to do a last the OBO, which is their company engineer, needs to get with the municipality engineer for one last final inspection and get a certificate of inspection done to complete the package. Then it's a matter of just scheduling the day that they're going to install the meter, the export meters, and then I have to sign a net metering agreement, which is negotiable, completely negotiable. And they even voiced that opinion with me, is that they'll work with me and what I think is fair, because see, if they're trying to push a rate on me in the agreement that they're going to compensate me for all the power that I give them on the grid, if it's a situation where they're taking big advantage of me and won't pay me for what power I'm giving them on the grid, I can file a case and they will lose in court. But if it's a fair compensation, we both agree back and forth of what fair means of the power I'm producing for their grid, then we can make an agreement and sign a contract. And that's per the individual. So if you get to that point in the Philippines, you have a solar system, comes to the net metering agreement time, which is a contract, you can negotiate that contract. So don't just take what they're offering you. You can negotiate that. It's per person. It's not a standard. Because if they are, and they're going to lowball you, right? And you're going to highball them. But if you can meet in the middle, then you're gonna make a good, fair, and compensated deal for the power you're producing for the power company. So don't just accept what they're gonna give you, right? Because if you have a solar system, you've invested lots of money in your solar system for the benefit of not only you, but your whole community, because you're putting power back onto the grid and you're providing the power company with power that's half the price of what they can generate it for if you make a 50% agreement with them, right? So that's already what I've said, that I will, at the least that I'm going to accept, is a 50% agreement, and it's percent, not 50.50 rate, right? So if their rates keep going up, my 50% keeps going up. So you got to think of those things before you sign a contract, because that's law throughout the world. That's commercial law. Contracts are. I don't care what country you're in, and it's going to hold up in a court. So once you sign a contract, that's the done deal. So you have to accept what you agree on. So I'm kind of excited to go through that process with them. It just, in the Philippines, they're so new with the process, it's taken them so long. I've done these net agreements in the U.S. before, and it takes maybe 2 months and it's a done deal. But now I've gone since October of last year, so that's what, 10, close to 10 months now. So yeah, that's it's way too long, and they're gonna get better with that. But that's the thing in the Philippines too. Everything takes 5 to 6 times longer than usual. That's normal. So anyways, take care, tubers. I still got a blackout situation here, and that's just something I got to deal with. So hopefully, and it will in the future. My big mistake was getting a diesel generator. And diesel generators just have a high maintenance and they're always breaking down. And I knew that, but I didn't have a choice, because I still to this day can't get a propane generator. And that's my top goal, to get another generator, maybe 6 to 8 kW propane generator, and the additional battery banks for the daytime, the battery banks on my solar system will take care of that, and then at night I'll have diesel generator and a propane generator both. So someday I'll be able to get a propane generator. I just have to keep beating the bush trying to find a supplier. So I would appreciate it if you guys know a supplier anywhere in the Philippines or outside the Philippines where I can get that generator, propane generator in the Philippines. I would so much appreciate it if you would put it in the comments. So thank you guys. Love you, and please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.